Hello. It seems like it's been a minute since we've had the chance to chat, but I think that might just be because there is so much going on right now in the Portland startup community. But before we get to that, I have a very, very important shout out. Happy birthday, Oregon. February 14th is Oregon's birthday. It's 166 years old and looking great for being that age. Keep doing what you do, Oregon. Happy birthday. And of course, it's Valentine's Day, too, just so you know. But happy birthday, Oregon. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Glad Oregon is here. Glad we're all here. So let's get into some of the Portland startup news for this week. We might have some broader Oregon stories as well. If I can remember correctly, we do. So the big story this week, last week it was, I got the chance to kind of reveal that Pat Chung had been hired at the Metro Region Innovation Hub, which is for Portland, the hub of innovation and collaboration around entrepreneurial and startup support. Pat, new employee there as a navigator. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does there. I might have touched on that he's a former founder, and that is interesting to me by way of this story, which was also hugely popular this week. Yalda Morshiri has been named to the OEN team. Now, here's the thing. You're like, that's no surprise. I've seen her representing OEN at events all the time. Yalda's here, Yalda's there. She's hanging out with all kinds of people. It was officially announced that Yalda has joined as kind of the Angel Oregon program lead. Not kind of as. She's the Angel Oregon program lead. Why is this amazing? Why did I also mention Pat? Because Yalda's a former founder as well. And I love it when we can take the opportunity to engage with people with startup founder experience and get them engaged in organizations that support startups and entrepreneurship. And Yalda is no different. Like, she knows the drill. She knows the assignment. She's got to deal with like investor angel-y types. She's got to deal with startups who want money from those investor angel-y types. I think they have Angel Oregon Tech. They have Angel Oregon Bioscience. And of course, they have Angel Food, which is the food thing, even though it's a pun. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how Yalda engages. She's a Pi alum, so soft place in my heart for Yalda, obviously. But also, I would just like to say that she has been doing a phenomenal job of like showing up to like every single thing and being present and like celebrating what's happening in the community. So even in this early going, I can tell she's going to have a huge impact on the community in this role. And congratulations to not only Yalda, but OEN on making an excellent hire. It's Valentine's Day. You don't have to love me as much as I love you. But what you could do is maybe leave a like. Just leave a like. Just like it, and we'll call it good. Not looking for anything more. Just leave a like. Thank you. All right, that was the big news this week. The big event this week was the Startup Founders. Where are they now? Specifically for Black History Month, we had the opportunity. Stephen Green sat down with a bunch of amazing Black founders from our community, folks who've been through Built Oregon or Pi or Pitch Black or Vanport Studio. It really like not only did the typical like pitch your startup kind of stuff. Like, it wasn't that vibe. It was like, what are you going through? Like, why are you building a startup here? Like, last time we talked to you, like Paula Hayes, I think is a great example. Like, Paula's been part of the community for a significant amount of time and has had really valuable experiences, but she's often so busy building the business, doing the business, creating new products that we don't get to hear as much from her as we would like. And so we had this opportunity to bring Paula to stage, talk about where she's been since folks may have seen her the last time, talk about some of her experiences in retail. And that happened with 10 different founders. So what I would like to do is read off the list of founders and the programs that they participated in so that you know who all was there. And then I will link up the video because we were able to live stream it thanks to Juan Barraza and our Latino founders friends. They have live stream equipment. They came in, they did a fantastic job, amazing, like just really high quality capture of the event, and we that's available on YouTube. So I'll link that up. The other benefit is we also can like provide direct links to specific speakers. So if I mention somebody where you're like, oh, I'd really like to hear from them, I haven't heard from them in a while, you'll be able to click right in, watch their thing, it'll all be good. So let's go through the founders who we got the chance to hear from at the Startup Founders. Where are they now? Herbert Beauclair from Pitch Black, Ola Elkanah from Built Oregon and Pitch Black, Paige Hendricks Buckner, Pitch Black, Precious Hannah King, Built Oregon and Pitch Black, Paula Hayes, Built Oregon and Pitch Black, Alicia Kirkland from Pi, Listea Malloy, who went through Pi and Pitch Black, Demola Omatosho, who went through Pi and Pitch Black, Jeremy Roberts, who went through Pi, Pitch Black, and Vanport Studio is coming up. They're doing some work with him. Ian Williams, of course, went through Built Oregon and Pitch Black. Bonus, though, like at the end, like everybody thinks it's over. Mitch Doherty comes to the stage. Mitch Doherty, new manager of the Portland office of small business, grabs the mic, comes to the stage. He's like, Stephen, you're not getting away without answering a few questions. So, of course, our MC, Stephen Green, got to answer a few questions as well. All in all, I thought it was a great event. Sold out. 125 people maybe showed up. And, really good energy in the room. Like, thanks so much to Instrument for letting us host it there, because one of the things I love about the Instrument space is you can cram a lot of people into a very small space. And so from a speaker perspective, it feels very intimate and very close, as well as from a attendee perspective. You feel like you're in the room with the speaker, and I think it's just a really nice vibe. And so it was really nice of Instrument to let us use that location and get the opportunity to chat with all these folks. And again, thank you so much to Stephen Green for being willing to interview folks. Thanks to Juan Barraza for helping with the live stream. And I don't know if we're going to I don't know how we're going to release them, but Miguel Higgins Moy was jumping all around, taking great shots of not only the speakers, but also some other editorial shots as well, and a lot of really good video footage too. So we'll probably chop that up in really interesting ways. So anyway, if you missed the event, I'm sorry you weren't there. If it was sold out and you weren't able to make it in, sorry. Hope the live stream helped. Hope you got to tune in and participate in that way. And all by way of reminding you, the March event will be here before you know it. Very similar format, but this will be focused on women founders, since March is Women's History Month, and will be hosted by Cami Chaos, who's a community organizer and a Pi mentor and all kinds of other things, and also happens to have a birthday in March on International Women's Day. So it seemed like a really good person to host that event. That will happen March 11th. Who's going to be on stage? I don't know. You have to RSVP and find out. What if it winds up selling out again? Which it might. Like the January event sold out, February event sold out. Maybe we make it a trifecta and the March event sells out. But we've already confirmed we'll be able to live stream it. So while we would love to have you there in person, we would also, if you can't make it in person or it sells out, we would love to have you tune in to the live stream. I will link up both the RSVP for the event if you want to attend in person, but also link up to the live stream so that you can kind of click the notify button and you will get alerted when we start the live stream. But it will start March 11th around 5:30. Probably talk to about 10-ish founders who've been through a variety of programs. Again, Built Oregon, Pi, Pitch Black, Pitch Latino founders, Vanport Studio, wide variety of people. So I hope you can either attend or tune in. I'm really looking forward to this one. I look forward to every event, but they're getting it's a little bit like we did the big event. And if you want the big event, the big networky event, that's happening again, April 8th. We'll get you a big networky event with no programming. You just chat with people and hang out and meet people from the community. But we also want to do some of these more intimate events. Get the community together around a particular topic or a theme. And so we have a lot planned. We've pretty much got the whole calendar filled for the year. Always happening on the second Tuesday of any given month. But we've also started talking about we can't just do the second Tuesday in the evening. And some people, maybe they want to get together in the morning or lunchtime or something else. So don't worry. We're thinking through programming some other interesting events at different times. This is just the beginning of the new Pi experiment. And so we're going to try some things. Some things are going to work. Some things are going to fail. We got to try it. We got to put it out there, see if it works, get feedback, iterate. That's what we do with experiments at Pi. So I hope you will join us at an event in the near future. Again, would love to have you at the March event. If that's not workable, then please plan on the April 8th event, because that's going to be another big shindig of some sort that we will figure out. But here's the other ask. Oh, this is what March 11th, women's event. On the April 8th event, it would be amazing to have folks from out of town to engage with all of these Portland people. So the first one, 400 people from the Portland startup community showed up, got to hang out with one another, meet other Portland people. What would be amazing for this one is if people from Seattle or the Bay Area or back east or what have you wound up in Portland on April 8th. So we can not only get Portland people connected, but we could get Portland connected to other areas in important ways. So if you're outside of Portland and watching this, I don't know why you would be, but thank you. Thank you for watching this, even if you're outside of Portland or Oregon, and maybe come hang out. I would love to meet you. If you are from outside the area and you still find it, compelling to listen to the news that's happening here, perhaps even worse, listening to the news that's happening here delivered by me, I would love to see you at the event. I would love to say thank you, maybe purchase you a beverage of your choice, just to thank you for tuning in and to get you introduced and connected with a bunch of the amazing founders and startups here in the Portland community. Okay, this one, let me give you a little weird context. My chosen form of expression is written. I like writing things. I'm not terribly good at speaking. I am a hobbyist photographer, videographer, but it's not great. Let's be honest. It's not great. So I've been a blogger for a long time, since the last century. I was writing code to put words on the internet in the form of a blog prior to the turn of the century. And then, things came along like Blogger and other platforms. Eventually, I got to the point where I tried a few different blog formats. One was focused on marketing. One was focused on what it was like to be an employee and how business places should be better places. And then I finally hit upon the concept for Silicon Florist. But what inspired me to start Silicon Florist is what I'm going to cover next, that I'm so happy to see the resurgence of. Is I started Silicon Florist because there were other people blogging. There were other startup founders telling their stories. There were other companies telling their stories. And I would be able to read their content, kind of amplify their content and get you to go read what other people were writing. And so this week, I was really happy to see two founders had taken the time. One is a LinkedIn post, but that's basically a blog, like a LinkedIn post thingamajig, not like a LinkedIn update, but like a full-on LinkedIn post. Another one was a more traditional blog post, which I always love. The blog posts, they're great. So the first one, Duncan Miller, founder of Rose City Robotics, co-founder, founder of Rose City Robotics, took the opportunity. He's bootstrapped a lot of companies, and he kind of thought about maybe going after chasing venture capital for Rose City Robotics, because robotics is kind of hot right now. And I believe they were at BBC. They were at Ben Venture Conference. I remember that. So Duncan took the opportunity to just kind of provide, like, here's a view on bootstrapping, here's a view on VC. And really the premise is why I found it so interesting, not only because a founder was blogging, that's amazing, but like his perspective was bootstrapping is good for the founders. Chasing investment is good for the investors. And so it's a really thoughtful take on those two ways of financing the growth of a company. Well worth the read. I will link it up so that you have the opportunity to read through it. But also, please, if it inspires you in any way and you are a startup founder, please, please, please write it down or something, like put it on YouTube or whatever, and let me know. Because I love when founders take the opportunity to pontificate about their experience or write about their company. And the more of that content I can consume, the better my day and week is. So if Duncan inspires you, great. Go create some content yourself. Send it my way. If you need even more inspiration, Mike Hewlin from Paxton down in Bend. Paxton AI in the legal space, they're doing really well. They recently raised some funding. I think you heard me talk about it a week or two ago, 22 million-ish, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. I record this stuff because I can't always remember, but I think I'm right. He wrote a really thoughtful piece. So Mike has spent time in the Bay Area and is up here in Oregon in Bend now, and wrote a really thoughtful piece on just kind of like the pros and cons. Like, you know, there are good things about building a startup here in Oregon. There are challenging things about building a startup here in Oregon. And that's what I want you to know, especially if you're a startup founder. So it was really nice to get Mike's perspective on his experience with the Oregon startup community and his experience in Bend and spending time in Portland. So again, really good read, but also just really happy to see founders taking the opportunity to compose these kind of pieces, because it really it has multiple benefits. It helps the founders really think through something when they're writing about it, and it really helps other people in the community gain a deeper understanding of the dynamics of what's happening here from a founder perspective. So thank you to both Duncan and Mike for writing those up. I hope they inspire thousands of other founders to share their journeys and insights and write or YouTube or blog or podcast or whatever they want to do. Instagram, story, reel, I don't care. I just want to hear from founders. I want to hear their perspectives, and I want to share those more broadly with folks who may tune in here or may not. I don't know, but I want to amplify what you're talking about, because I think your insights are important and critical and formative to the next generation of people who will be starting companies. I read Hey Portland from CityCast Portland every day. I listen to their podcast on a regular basis, but this one seemed particularly fitting to mention here, and of course I'll link it up. But the CityCast Portland podcast had an episode where they covered a bunch of products that have been created here in Oregon that people may or may not realize are Oregon products. Me, personally, Viewmaster is one of my favorites. I love that it was created in Portland, because I had this Bakelite Viewmaster when I was a kid, and I loved it. And when I learned that Portland was the birthplace of Viewmaster, that was just kind of special. So like, it's always nice to find these brands or these products that you didn't realize were Oregon based or founded in Oregon, and then suddenly you now have this trivial knowledge about the amazing things that have been created here. So while I love Viewmaster, there are other things like Big League Chew, or like a vegetarian turkey, or the company that really truly invented the swimsuit. Used to have a big statue out in Civic Stadium before it became PGE Park and all those kind of things, Providence Park and all that kind of stuff. Used to be a big old statue dedicated to this swimwear company out there. But anyway, there are any number of super interesting brands and companies that have started here that you may not realize are Oregon. And I just really think it's always beneficial for folks to realize the amazing brands that have started here. Again, as Mitch Doherty, the manager of Portland's Office of Small Business, always likes to say, Oregon is the Silicon Valley of consumer products. And this episode of CityCast Portland really demonstrates that with some of the amazing products that have been built here, have been created here. And they didn't even get into Tillamook or any of that, or Deschutes or Dekine or like Harry and David. They didn't even get into any of that stuff. They got into a bunch of other ones. Oh, they did touch on Jacobson Salt. I said Big League Chew. There are a few others in there. I don't want to spoil any surprises, so go ahead and tune into that. And looking forward to hearing from you about potential brands that, maybe weren't mentioned, like maybe Keen. Oh, now I mentioned them. Or Columbia. Everybody knows Columbia and Nike and those. But anyway, go listen, go watch. Good episode. I will continue to highlight episodes of CityCast Portland that I think are relevant to the stuff we're talking about here. And I hope you find it as enjoyable and inspiring as I did. If you're watching this on Valentine's Day, there's a lot of snow out there. The roads are slick. If you're watching it in the future, you can remember back to Valentine's Day when it was snowing and the roads were slick. But please be careful out there if you have to travel. Please stay home if you don't. And until we get the chance to chat again, please keep up the good work.